President Cunningham is absent. Vice President Nesby,
Present.
Ms. Baker, Minister Burwell, Mrs. Burwell is absent. Mr. Schulte,
Here.
Mr. White,
Here.
Mayor Burwell is absent. Borough Manager is present. Solicitor?
Here.
Acting Police Chief?
Here.
Is there someone from the fire department here today? Code enforcement?
Here.
Public Works? Great, engineer was here last week. Parking. Junior council member Poston? Junior council member White?
Here.
Okay, are there any public comments on agenda items at this time? Did they come up to the podium?
How's everybody? I'm good. My name is Edward Robinson. I'm going to talk to you about the eligibility list for police officer. Introduce myself, rather than just be a name on a piece of paper. Talk about some past instances that might correctly be cause of concern. Hire me, answer any questions you have. I go to stage for about 6:45 after getting my car home for my wife. But if you want to do that now, or make my number available, or again, another time, welcome to whatever you all want to do.
So the only thing I would just say is with regards to council, if you're gonna interview one candidate, you need to interview the other two that are on the list, obviously, other than that. You guys can address it directly, but.
It is, or you're the better on the list. Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anybody else before we move on? Agenda items?
So, just looking to,
What's your name, sir?
So there are, yeah, ALSUWIDAN.
Thank you. I know.
So we already had the hard meeting, which went well, and we're just looking to here on the number 4 list for the voting items. Looking to get signage on the walls, 245 East State Avenue. That's the old Jack's Variety. It's now a convenience store. So we're gonna get some signage there and let patrons that are passing by and even the fellow community that might not know what exactly products are offered or what the store is, especially after the car accident, that kind of damage it and everything's done. So we're looking to hopefully put some signage up, to try to boost sales and continue to build a business. Along with that, we're proposing putting a 24-hour ATM machine into the side of the building that Harv had no issue with. They just had a few recommendations that we agreed upon. So me and my family actually don't own the business, but we own the property. And I actually own a small fleet of my own ATM machines. It's really helpful to the community. It's really helpful to the underbanked and people that may have messed up previous relationships with, for example, PNC Bank. You might owe them overdraft fees. You may resort to Cash App or Chime cards. And there's no physical banks that you can check the balance at, that you can actually withdraw cash when you need it. And we're just looking to have that available not only for the community in a good spot right there next to the avenue itself, but as well as be able to offer competition. I know that there is a good amount of machines in the neighborhood, as well as inside that I own and operate. But being able to add some competition as well as giving people that type inside, one outside, and surprisingly, that was kind of like the first time I noticed that, you know, a lot of people, there is a cash need sometimes later at night, as well as, you know, at the beginning of the month, certain benefits start to go out. Surprisingly, a lot of, you know, there may be a line and somebody might need to be somewhere at a certain time, so it's nice to have, double options for them, so just wanted to put that up.
I have a question, so you said you do have an ATM inside?
Yes. But their hours, are like 9:30 to close at night, so, that quite helps somebody that might be closed, you know, getting off of work at 11 p.m. maybe see tasks, for whatever reason. And, yes, that's about it.
That's a lot. Anyone else have a question? Anyone else? Agenda items?
Hi, my name is Jason Thomas. I live at, 326 East 11th Avenue on, Lady Hesper's Street, and I'm a resident here. You might know my mom right here, right? And, I sent an anonymous email to you guys on the thank you for helping us with the, parking situation that we have on our street. Getting pretty bad on the streets. The other thing I did want to mention though, I don't know if you guys know this or not, just really the plastic thing, because it's closing the plastic center. One off on August 16th. I was looking at maybe you guys might give a couple, or maybe I could reach out and see if some leadership. I have a petition on my. I've sent every white space, see if we can get some more. They say they serve about 2,200, 2,300 people in the local areas. So, you know, income also helps their lives. If there was anything that they would guys can help us. That's all.
Thank you so much. I did not know that.
Sir, did they give you any indication why they wanted it?
No, they didn't, except for, they just said that, they said that nationwide, apparently, they were planning on closing either 22 or 23 places, and they can say why they chose this selection. So according to the staff on earlier today, their numbers are just as good as anyone else's. So the folks around here who were donating, they now have either the, you know, road, which is unrealistic.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Anyone else? Thank you all. Appreciate it. Department reports are inside of your package. The fire department did get theirs, as well as the engineer, last week, and I don't know if you guys got an email. Well, I won't speak to that. But the department was, we moved down to our discussion item. The first one was the civil services update discussion about hiring police officers.
Well, the process is done. We have 3 candidates on the list. The list was certified. The list was also, the eligibility list was also established. 3 candidates on the list received letters. Ezra, did you receive anything in the mail?
Not that I saw, I can double check.
What would those letters be and who would they be from?
It was from the borough office. The first one stated that we established a list of eligibles, and then the second list established the certified list of candidates. And that was probably mailed out maybe a week ago, maybe 10 days ago. And the address that you had on your application, that's where it went.
I'll look through my old mail here, make sure I didn't miss it.
And that's it right now, unless we're going to discuss anything else later. So.
You guys want to discuss about specifics about any of the individuals, is there anything in the executive session either now or later time?
I have a question, but it's not specific to like the person, anyone's personal. It's just, there were 3 candidates. Are we able to do 2? Are we able to do 1?
Well,
You know, how does that?
Ezra is a veteran, he fell within the top 3, so by statute, we have to hire
two, but I believe we can do the
Or two. That's what we
The
budgeted.
list remains good for a year. So if
Okay.
you wanted to do one and decide a couple of months, all right, then we can onboard a second guy. That was just solid.
Well, and I would definitely want the recommendation from our acting chief, is two, two, I mean, if I had to say, it would be two. Because we're still not sure.
That's what
At
I-
least two.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend, because,
Thank you, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
we need more coverage.
We were scared.
You know, at one time, we had 18 officers, we don't want our signal without a 10. So, and I believe Chief Luptax had a trouble filling shifts.
Thank you. Yes, yes, sir. Oh, wait, we were just on one and we're moving down to two, which is the resolutions for the, multi-month grant for the paving of the streets.
Okay, so, resolution of my home local grant, streets, recommended by engineer. Sarah Silverman, 1570 Main Street, total construction cost $1,251,594. Engineering cost $115,059, total $1,266,753, with $200,000 match from the borough from the fuel. That was motion.
We're not gonna, we're just discussing.
Okay.
So we will be contributing 200,000
Yes.
and the grant, this, multi-little grant will protect, I mean.
Are we not gonna do all of the rest? So we'll see how much we get from them.
Sure, can we do that first to see what our match will be, like, so we get
We have
100?
to contribute that. They went up much.
And is that, inside of that, do all these streets get paid, or we prioritize it?
So if we get fully funded, all of these streets get paved. If we are not fully funded, then council makes a decision about which streets we use the grant funding to pave.
Remember, these are estimated numbers right now. When we get this grant at some point, probably next year, those figures are obviously gonna change too. So you might not have enough to do a road that's on there, but you might do some combination of those depending on the amount of funding.
Like, for instance, last year, Rhythm Street was on there, we didn't think it was in that good shape, and we told them, "Well, it's back on the now." I'm assuming you guys can barely come to that one.
Yes.
And so, because we will do all of that extension.
This is up for discussion now, so when do we have to make a decision on this list?
So the grant application, the multimodal grant window is very short. It has to be submitted by Brad this Friday. So, these are the streets that we talked about at last council meeting. Once the cost estimates came in from Brad based on the square footage of paving, the length of the streets, I wanted to make sure that I shared with council and, the public here tonight, just to help conceptualize how expensive paving is. So these segments, this is, over $1.2 million worth of paving that we're requesting. Realistically, we never get fully funded for anything, but we're more competitive whenever we have a local match that shows that we're invested in seeing these streets fixed. So that's where the suggestion to, include a match amount in the grant application comes from, to make us more competitive for it. But we have to, our council has to consider that resolution tonight so that Brad can submit it on time.
Sewer canopies from NJI, we're going to be next year, the year after, we don't know exactly when, under another consent. To cam up all of the sewers. How many hundreds of thousands of feet that is.
proposal from NJI to lease a sewer camera. Since it's leased, if we break it, they fix it, at 24.80. I forget the number, but it's under $2,500. Right now, if we call State Pipe, who's the next lowest bidder on the list to get something camera, it's $5,000 per day. So by us owning this camera, to have it here all the time, 24.80 per month, we'll save a considerable amount of money. And like right now, we have Oak Street Health, we don't know whether their sewers are installed right, if their taps in, so we're gonna need that to be cambered. Like right now, that's another project, so that we can get another $5,000. We are 24, and there are two projects that we have already done, 9th Avenue and 12th Avenue with NJI, that they haven't billed us for, that they would just roll into this lease so that we wouldn't pay for those two things.
So it's a lease, I'm not owning it, it's a lease, and
No, this is a 1-year lease. Yeah, so one of the members of our fire department, I think it's Mr. Barca, he sits on the Munhall, MSSA, Munhall Sewer, Sanitary Sewer Authority. They purchased one.
Right.
And, I had, before we put the option to lease one in front of council, I spoke to Jackie Force, of the sewer authority. She said that, they use their camera every day out of the week. They have dedicated staff for it, so they use it every day. They have great utility with it. It's easy to operate. And, she said it was a good piece of equipment, but our ability to regularly borrow it is very limited because they use it daily.
right, 'cause I just thought it was a good intergovernmental use of land.
DM. So that's part of, and that's a discussion that I wanted to also have with council. So in that,
And who made that decision?
no, well, that's something I wanna, bring up to you. So, I don't think that it's just staff training. So, there are a lot of reasons why it would be beneficial to have a, staff member that is, gosh, I'm terrible with acronyms. What's the, and NASCO certified. So NASCO certification gives somebody the ability to assess and grade damage in pipes and in laterals. So we know that we've been having a lot of sewer issues throughout Homestead, with the, just the sheer volume of rain that we've received this year. On top of having all of these weird projects happen, like, an emergency repair for a sinkhole. One of my requests of council, also keeping in mind that, one of your agenda items is for advertising an ordinance to, for sewer lateral repairs or inspections at the point of sale for a house. So that would, if we had somebody NASCO certified, it would give us the ability to review that footage in-house, which it could also be extremely beneficial. But of the public works staff members that we have, DM is the one who's been most interested in additional training to get NASCO certified to assess the pipes and to run the camera. So DM already is interested in it, which is why my suggestion would be to proceed with DM.
And that's fine, I just think that, for purposes of DM being absent or away or sick, that there would be two people, who will be NASCO certified in the event of vacation, sick,
So
something like that.
The training, it is 3 days of training and it is $1,200. So what?
The training is okay, because we're gonna need it if we're gonna, enter into a contract to have a machine. I'm just saying it shouldn't just be one person.
No, it
should
is
be
one
more.
person, with this is busy season for public works, so to have two of them away for 3 days of training at the same time would be a hardship, so it would be phasing training. DM is the first one that I was suggesting training.
And did that come from Harry, said that he Cause I don't want us to make a decision and you have, you know what I mean?
This lease also
And that's the
includes
department.
one day a month, someone from NJI would come out and sit with us, and go through, making sure it's going on right, making sure we're doing everything right, and, making sure our results are good, which is most important.
And how often will we use it?
We could use it every day if we wanted to, or we needed to.
Weekly, the plan is weekly.
Until, because right now, we're not EPA, they're not requiring us, but eventually you said in
No,
1 or 2 years, it will come where we'll
It's
be.
gonna come, and it'll be another. Sewer projects, another consent decree, we have to, there's no government. We have to replace sewer lines, we have to separate the stormwater from the sewage.
So if we're doing that now, what is gonna be done in another year or two, where they would say do it again, or
No,
another?
you will already have a head start.
We start doing it.
Come down, get on this together.
We start now, walk the weeds. So it would take for 2 blocks, I don't know the exact time period, but by the time PTA comes in with their consent decree, we'll be underway, so they can't find us because we're trying to.
You know, I'm not advocating for or against one positive is knowing what the inside of your sewers look like. You're gonna pick up all your category defects with 3/4 to 5 that you're gonna be required to fix. And you know about them now as opposed to 3 or 4 years down the road, because they get blamed financially is how we have to afford them, or at least attack them, instead of as they turn from 3s to 5s, and now we've got a sinkhole, which we can kind of fix. You might be able to prevent some of the further catastrophic losses that could happen.
Another question I had is last month, last week, 2,400, to do that, and I was saying 2,480.
I don't know the exact number, I guess.
Yeah, it said 2,400. And so,
Whatever it
and then
is,
where the
it
80
was-
came from,
Whatever it was last month, it still is.
where it was 2,400,
Is there any grant money available to purchase?
or to reimburse us for the, well, you said that before we even.
I mean,
We're about $200,000.
Some money for the monthly.
Don't purchase it, because if you break it.
Yeah, that's what he said, at least.
If you lease it,
Yeah,
that
he'll
makes
fix
it for
it.
you.
Now, the lease, is it month to month or is it an annual lease? Or month to month?
Well, it would be a 1-year lease, but it's a monthly payment. It's definitely a 1-year lease, 12 months.
What happens after that?
We can continue it for another year. Or
Will they
There
charge?
ever a time when we will, and I hear what you're saying, like, you don't ever.
Not every time, no.
it's renewable, so. Go on.
So what would be feasible is that we put that on a schedule usage.
Yes.
Because not just getting this equipment here and not using it is not, no, not at all.
We want to schedule it, or when you said we.
The street department there, if we have a storm and trees are down and we're out all week chopping up trees, it's, they're not gonna use it that day, but.
Of course,
But it'll be scheduled as we're doing.
we understand emergencies, and things like that.
Creating a learning called Homestead. This is an economic tool to help attract developers to come into town and build, especially bigger projects. The school district adopted a 10-year program. And they're-
They haven't been-
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure.
they haven't been doing that.
And, there's this 10 years and they're giving away 80% of their taxes every year for 10 years in that deal.
Oh, yeah, they have it written.
We used to have them.
Oh, as far as ours?
Yeah.
I did not draft anything of ours, but I need any direction from council, I'm not just
Well,
gonna.
the question was,
because we wanna see that, I know we've been saying that we had one and it expired, but I've yet to see the ordinance.
It literally says 10 years after they passed.
So how beneficial, and I'm only saying this because of the waterfront, they had that learner and the time came for them to start to pay and they left. Right, so could that be something that happens with Homestead?
And a clause, we're right, so we can make. the
Mary,
rule.
we've gotten smarter since whenever that happened 25 years ago. So the waterfront was largely built using a TIF, similar tool,
Yeah.
different setup. So we had that LERTA situation happen a little bit earlier this year, where we negotiated a minimum locked-in payment. So those are the things that you can stick right in the ordinance. So it's an upfront requirement that if you get a LERTA from Homestead, you are locked in on a tax payment for however many years after the LERTA expires.
And you guys could also do it different for, because look, you guys do things differently depending on residential and commercial. You can have different sets of standards for that one as well. You can also have those things that you're looking for about whether they're gonna be renter occupied or owner occupied, if they request, it's at the forefront of what you guys have been talking about the last few months. So you look at it, one, to entice development, but also make sure that what you're developing is going to stay within the community.
We can discuss the percentage on it too.
Absolutely, and that's the whole, you can, whatever you guys wanna do, you can pretty much put it in there. As long as you're agree. You don't wanna make it so onerous that nobody's gonna take advantage of it, but you obviously wanna spur some kind of creativity. Even one of, you guys that wanna do an addition, decide whether it's $60,000 addition, which is pretty easy to do these days, how much it's expensive. Not saying afford, but get that kind of price. This learner might help you do that because you know you're not gonna go up $1,000.
Anyway, if people want to do it, we'll get some of it right. And I think 7 years, like we used to have, is probably a good number. I don't know about 10. The old one went 20% a year. Yeah. 7%. So check the face value that is now and you lock that in, or you lock in that plus 10% or something.
It's slowly stepping up to the full value of the house. It's not, it's whatever you guys want
So
it to
if the
be.
taxes were $100 a year, the first year you pay $20, the next year 40, the next year 60, the next year 80, till you got up to the 100.
Who determines, how much it will cost?
Yeah, we make that percentage for the value of the house, basically, is whenever they're done doing the construction or whatever type of building it is, it gets kicked to the county, they do a reassessment, we base it off of that, so whatever the county comes back at, that's what we do. As far as the value, they would pay the taxes off of that value, whatever our schedule is, that's the percentage that they would be paying of the additional tax.
So, when does that have to be set up?
Us, whenever you guys want. The school district will put something like this before your planning commission, before it gets to you guys to decide on their, not touching your taxes, has to do with you, the way the statute is written. The municipalities have to pass the resolution for the deteriorated area, much like we did for the one in the waterfront. They're gonna be looking to do the entirety of the school district, so Mud Hall, West Homestead, and Homestead. Not necessarily saying that Homestead is deteriorated within the area in general. There's enough blighted property that has an effect on the local area, essentially.
Say what we would call deteriorating in our area.
You have blight, you have unpaid taxes, you have blight.
We've had that for 100
Never
years.
makes it deteriorated, blight is for development.
But that's why
Like, I
I
put it
put it in land bank, so that they can store values.
And they're doing that, but it's still not there.
It's
It's outside
another
the
tool.
city center, it's just, that's definitely.
Keep inventing more tools to help get more pieces of our copy. And the, declaring that deteriorated area, when first, the last bill that we declared the entire town, like, so it can be used anywhere in the whole town. So, we could do that again, if there's any value in block by block, let's say, this block is good, this block is bad. Just
Everybody else already finished. You know how that's affected us.
And the PRT and access to the waterfront, this has been ongoing for a long time. It's coming to a head where the waterfront is now telling PRT they're not welcome on parts of their property. It's proposed to make a bus stop next to Target and between Target and Giant Eagle. But that's stalled right now because of property ownership. This is still in negotiations, but something's going to change if it's that long.
So we'll eliminate all those bus stops, and then that's gonna take a while before we get it.
And it's gonna affect their ability, even though it's their convenience to really go to work.
Because how are you gonna have somebody walk
That would
right
affect their
down to the
livelihood.
road?
Yes, and if they only have bus stops on Waterfront Drive, it's not safe for the people to walk through the parking lots to get to the, to get to the stores. Right, there is, it's still negotiations.
So we don't worry about the bus stops,
We're, yeah, we don't get to say where they go.
Yes, we do.
Well,
This is
Remember
what,
that the power is in the people.
but
and
this
I
is
just
what
think this
they
is
are
devastating.
proposing. So they are proposing, with the assumption that Homestead at first, but now they understand that the public right of way and the waterfront is a three community issue. So now they are proposing that the, waterfront maintenance fund pay for the installation and the, ADA upgrades, because spot number 3 is currently a spot, but it's not ADA compliant. So they are requesting that ultimately you agree to pay for these things without investing any PRT money
And I think that,
I think the PRT can pay for it themselves.
they can, and then remember this too, remember y'all running around talking about this is private property, we'll take care of your private property.
And they're taking care of private property, so it's still away. So it's,
You know, we're not gonna come out of our pocket to help them, and they got the money, and I know they just passed that.
right.
They just passed something, and they'll be getting $50 million pretty soon. And you can look that up, so they better look into that money.
This is just keeping council, notified of this evolving issue, that you have some level of control over the response to it, but the need for it is purity and the waterfront.
And I really think the community should know about what's happening, and that the people that are at the table are not just Lloyd and Ted, the person, because it doesn't represent us as a whole. And so when these things happen, we have to let them know. That this is shut up, and all of a sudden you're gonna catch a bus, you don't know, you're late for work. I just feel like, our due diligence would be to make sure that our community knew what was being done or trying to be done. Right, so that there are people at the table, there are letters, or there is a petition, because those type of things should happen. This is people's lives we can be talking about.
This is inside the water.
Yes.
Last year, you go about in your packets, they're proposing for it to happen.
Well, what happened to them doing that down at the end for West Hudson? Then there was the whole roundabout, turnabout, is that done?
Just never happened. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they proposed last year that they were gonna take all the parking on their garages. And they never came out and we said no.
Because most of it really doesn't make any common sense at all when you're talking about businesses and people's livelihoods.
well, who's at the table from, that represent us?
So
Every,
if this
every citizen in town is invited to the board.
But how
I
do you
understand.
know? That's not what she
No,
said.
the way that this one happened, I was invited to a Teams meeting from PRT about bus route changes. And PRT has been advertising for months that they are eliminating bus routes because of their funding crisis. I didn't know that we were talking about them getting evicted off of the private property in the waterfront until I was in that meeting. So the topic of this surprised me.
So I'll tell you that that's part of the PRT, and I dealt with this, and it was the same kind of signature city, they took away one of our bus routes, but there's no ladder, so like, originally how it was before. They were set to do it. And that's what I mean, so you have to press the issue with them as far as getting information, and it's gonna take you as your representative, of your citizens, to let them know that you have.
And that we
Yeah,
understand.
3 years ago, they discontinued the bus route on Western Road. And so people in Mount Brunswick and everybody just lost their bus one morning in Western area.
So I just think that, like you said, we have to be at those tables. We have to let the community know, and they have to be at the table. Like, even if we have to have a hearing, a public meeting, where we're informing them about what is getting ready to go down or what they're trying to do, right? Because if they don't hear from us, then it's like we're okay with it, right? We're moving, like fighting, and like standing, like protesting. That's what we shake stuff up, right? And not allow stuff like this to happen. Well, everybody's number.
Is it, Bridget, that we're not putting that type of information on our social media page?
Well, we know that,
I mean, we have that on there?
But in this, none of these
They haven't
plans
had
are
a
final.
public, they haven't had a
I
public hearing,
understand that.
they haven't had a public hearing on this proposal at all.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that now that we know this information,
When they have scheduled a public hearing.
well, no, we can let the people know about this now. We don't have to wait till hear like this is a,
Public hearing, so there's no way to comment about it.
well, no, not public hearing, I'm saying like public meeting, like we get this out to the community somehow, some way, not so much as a hearing, but right now in this phase, to say to the people, this is what's happening, right? Ultimately, this could be taken away, this could be taken away, this could be taken away. We need to have like a public meeting, is what I'm saying. We can't have hearings.
Port Authority will have a hearing. We need to get all our people to go to the Port Authority.
But even before that, even before that, so even before we get to a Port Authority hearing, our people need to know, and I don't say our community needs to know that these things are in progress, right? This is happening. They're having meetings about this. This is what they want to do. We do not, as a collective, have to wait to inform our people. We could put it, and I hear you saying regular call. I mean, there's nothing, nothing to go against what I just said. We have to inform the people, right? I heard you say regular call. Everybody is not on that regular call. So we have to, not tonight, right? We have to come up with a solution to inform them.
And we may get to vote on the changes, or they may feel that that's, like whether we can.
But at least the people are aware.
Yes. Okay, one of our canine dogs is about to be retired. And, he's requested for Officer Fritz to, renew, get a second dog again. Fundraising similar to Officer Cole's did, Jeff Wagner dog, and, outfit for training. So,
So when we're doing fundraisers for that, is there an line item so that we know like what money he gets, he's putting into that line item so we know what's being collected, what's being raised?
I'm working on that.
it's
You
outside.
do what, sir? I'm sorry. Oh, so there is an account that we can see, so you can't say you raised 30,000, but tell us 10. You know, not that you would ever do that, I just would use that.
I have a CCO thing, I'm not gonna say not because you would be like, that has very much been done, that's why people get
Messed up,
weary around.
fundraising, we don't do it like that.
When somebody makes a donation,
That's up to the foundation that they're donating money to.
no, well, that's
No,
what
that's
my
not what
question,
you meant.
that's what my question is. If the money comes to the borough, we can give them a receipt. If it goes to the fire department, does the fire department give them a receipt for tax purposes?
It's not our charitable foundation, it's theirs. If they wanna run their foundation, they've obviously gotta make sure that they run it in a way that.
And is that ran through the fire department and not the police
It's
department?
to our 501c3.
Why is that the fire and not, the 501c3?
I think this was also in the borough code that the officers themselves were not allowed, and it's police policy, it's to fundraise.
They can't fundraise in uniform,
Right.
and, yes, there's a lot of things in the borough code restricting policemen's ability.
Yeah, not necessarily true. I don't know what their charters are as far as how they can.
Anyway, the question is, do you want to say yes or no to allow Fritz to pursue a second dog?
We got a question.
It's gonna
Well,
be-
would it be the same as what we're already doing?
Yes, it would say for our expenses, but the cost would be entirely, borne by this foundation. And if they don't have enough money to do it, then it should be gone.
We should ask that, because she locked out. If they don't have enough money, then you just want a second.
They don't buy it.
I mean, we're pushing on.
They do monthly reports for canine usage. I would have to go back and look at it going on. Maybe starting when we had the two dogs on.
We're coming.
The other thing we could make, suggestion that we demand the police department to have, the dog in foot patrol on 8th Avenue once a shift or something.
We should do that.
That's up to their scheduling, but we could request that.
So,
Getting out of the car and walking through the neighborhood.
I did implement something, this month, it was to, each shift, that's all, like the parking lot, businesses, embroidery, painters, species dedication, and those business doorways,
And if that could happen, and I appreciate you for putting that in there, but right now with the uplift and uptick in gun violence, right? Sweep these clubs. You know, just have them walk around the park just for people who do something the night before, waiting to do something the next day. You know what I mean? Just for the parks, you know, one time, that's when they would use it to commit all this stuff. It's that, like, you know, that story. So, I mean, that could also be, that's what I'm talking about.
Acting chief upset, is our canines, gun detection dogs and drug detection dogs, or each, the one dog is for.
I believe they're both drug and article search dogs, as far as I know.
I'm a dentist.
That's a good question for Chris.
So Bane is both, and I know that because I was here whenever we acquired Bane. Nobody came before me, so I'm not quite sure. But
And we've been to their demonstrations when they've been out showing what they do, so.
Howdy.
I came back to PSAB, I gave you a list. Ten particular type of base grants that we get blood. Now, if you were apply to one of those grants for the dog, then that would help with our expenses. You can't do it after the fact. And that includes if we ever put on the detective, or you cut the equipment, or the personnel, it has to be done before. Not after.
And so they're going to take over the stuff.
Well, no,
Is that what you mean?
it's
That's what
training,
he's asking.
it
Oh,
can be
okay.
purchased, et cetera, so that maybe would help cover some of our expenses. Could cover new equipment, and, you know, maybe plate readers, et cetera. But it has to be done before, not after.
And is pretty sharp on which grants are coming up, so.
Well, I just gave you that list, that's all.
Something that didn't make the list, your Propel sent us a letter that they wanted to be included in the, crossing guards again.
It was, okay, now,
Yeah, the letter says that, you know, we shouldn't stop because they stopped paying. realize the value now, so they want to stay. And I don't know if we can, people to hire. Well,
Put it out there. I did, all you do is advertising. You get the money advertising, they crossing guards, and maybe some of us can use our social media platforms, they come on and apply. Cause I know there's a need,
absolutely.
and I know people need jobs, you know what I mean, even if it's
Well,
part-time.
in the last 4 years, we have never had enough crossing guards to fill all the spaces we have now.
Maybe we're not offering enough.
So the crossing guards are grant funded, you know, at least the ones from, we get reimbursed from Still Valley School District.
50%.
Yeah.
Well,
So right now the offer is $15 an hour.
But if we're still using $15 an hour has been out for so long now. And not that we, you know, you're crossing guard, and not that it takes away from the job, but if it's been $15 an hour for the last 10 years and we've always been short, then we gotta look at something, right? You know what I mean? Cause I know other areas that just give us, it's $20. It's only 2 hours here, 2 hours there. I mean, that $5 extra bucks can't hurt us when we're talking about people not wanting to come out. That's just a suggestion.
Totally.
You only get what you pay for, right?
I honestly think we have to go to $25 an hour to attract enough people to fill it. Because it's only, like you said, 2 hours.
And we
a day.
need to protect our children,
Uh,
and we're putting stuff in.
Excuse me, before we even talk about hiring more crossing guards or anything, shouldn't we consider the fact that Propel didn't pay what was owed?
Talk to me, Shway.
Was it, I mean, was it there?
That's why they gave us this letter. You read this letter, you're back.
Yeah, I got that letter, but they're literally ripping you off. I mean, I read the letter. I mean, I'm not stupid. They're saying paying $48,000. I know I'm not stupid, but they're basically trying to insult our intelligence here. But letter here, sir. They're trying to pay $48,000. They're trying to pay $24,000 for was owed before, and $24,000 for the upcoming school year. How you gonna pay for a brand new school year? You gonna pay for previous preschool?
Gotta pay.
Like they get like ripping us off here.
They owe us $72,000.
Yeah.
I think they should pay us $72,000 before we get that.
Oh, no, one person at a time, right?
They should pay
Give
us
us a second.
$72,000 up front before we can retain.
Actually, $96,000. The
For
72
another
for
school year.
4 and 96 for the next year.
And so this letter was just somebody trying to be in good faith, so we definitely wouldn't accept partial, in order to do that, because, so what I want you to understand, junior council, and the rest of us is that, things change hands when I'm talking about boards, I'm talking about principals, I'm talking about staff, and these type of things can get lost and I switch up and I switch around. So I wouldn't wanna punish, not that we don't want our money, but I wouldn't wanna punish the staff. So Propel right now has like an all new staff, completely, including their board. So we let them know that this is what's happening. I don't know if it's in their budget, but it's things that we look at. And so for me, we could clap, we could dance, we could shout. We definitely wanna talk to those individuals and sit down with them and come up with a solution, because this might be saying, hey, we'll give you this money up front right now, and then as we go monthly, I'll add $250, or I'll add $300, I'll add $500 towards the back pay. You know what I mean, on the end of it, but I never would let money get in the way of us protecting our kids crossing those streets with those people flying up and down the street. So we gotta look at it just like with the council. We ain't all gonna be here, these seats ain't guaranteed to us forever, you know what I mean? So we gotta look at the switch and change and how things get lost, and you've been sitting here long enough, even before you got on the council, to know that through our shifts, all the stuff that we missed and didn't pay, and missed payments and having to come back, so I want us to consider that.
Okay, that's nice that you said that, but in the same token, I do wanna say that at some point, I don't know, because before I came on here, but somebody stopped them, the guards, for them doing it, because their staff, their principals, their resource officer has been out there costing these kids. at
Because
their
we know
jobs.
the one lady,
Because- So,
We stopped because
Yeah.
they didn't pay.
yeah,
And
so,
it was like, well, we'll get to you, and then when
So
it
my
got to be
thing
3
is now-
years, it's like, no.
and then Propel paid the
my
lady to
thing
do
is
it
now,
themselves.
they did fine last year doing that, and the years, whatever years you stopped them from doing that, they did fine with having those kids cross. I don't see too many instances
Somebody-
where any child got hurt, so I say, this is a money game. we raise taxes here in Homestead, and we're owed that money, and we're giving 20 people breaks with stuff.
Well, we
And I
didn't
think
say
that-
we're giving them a break.
I
we
think
just
that you
got
should
it.
not give them a break. I think
We
that you
didn't say
should
that.
do that. If you are gonna give them a break, then the break should be, they pay us $72,000. So maybe knock off 1 year of your thing back then, and you pay us that, and you do the one for this year, for 24, but you give us 72,000. So you
Yeah, but
give us
then-
48 for the last 2 years, out of the 3 years you owe us. And then we make an arrangement with you to pay the other 24.
Yeah, so that's what we do. So listen, we don't, when we sit here as a council and spokesman for the people, what we don't go on as a tax and rants, we come together, we gonna sit down with them, and we gonna come up with something, right? We're not gonna make that decision today, they're not here for us to discuss. I think that what we gotta do is go back to the table. Thank you, Propel, right? We appreciate that, but this is a no, and we gonna come back and talk to you, right? Then we can present something, yes, sir.
Maybe we get $48,000 upfront July 1st each year for
Then
3
that-
years until.
Arrears.
That's this year plus
That's
1
right.
year back, this year plus 1 year back. And that would take them 3 years for them to catch up.
Just in the interest of keeping this moving along, because we're already sitting here July 17th, August is gonna roll around, new school's gonna start, we gotta do the hiring process. Who were you tasked with? Is it going to be Amanda? Is it gonna be somebody else? I want to say.
Absolutely not. I believe our borough manager is capable of discussing this.
I want somebody to get some direction.
And then if you when you get a hiccup, then you could come back to us, or you could go to the lawyer. You know what I mean? That's your precedent.
I just wanted to make sure somebody knew that they were gonna do something to get this.
Yes, we have to.
We want
We
upfront
have to
money,
make it.
upfront money now before school starts. And we want it again next year.
Yeah, because we're not even gonna put it out there that we're looking for cars that goes up there unless we get some piece of it.
Yes. Okay, so we're all on the same page, that works for everybody? Okay. Any other things that we missed in discussion?
I have one question, it's nothing to do with that. Mr. Harry, the trail cam behind my home in that alleyway, is it up and running? Is it working? Who's checking it? Only because with the unsticky violence and them using that back way or coming up there to go back there, is that camera working? When you checked it, because I remember you were up there checking it, but I just didn't like the storm and the trees and the debris, like, okay, thank you so much. And I think my concern was that you're only getting it one way versus both ways, so there could be
It's
one.
getting, coming in and going out.
Okay, so you can get them.
Yeah.
Cause at one
It's
time. it
faced
was-
towards your house, like, coming in. So if they're, you'll see who's gonna come in, and when they leave, you're
They
gonna
see
see.
them in front of you.
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
But we need a better system. That batteries keep running, you got too much wildlife out here.
Well, that, and then now that it's the summer, you know, at one time it was bare, when the summer comes, it's just foliage, and, or we see it, like it's invisible for the deer, for the camera to catch anything that happens.
The deer keep turning it on, which runs the battery. Correct. Every time it comes on, battery gets used a little bit, so. it's
So you mean it only kept going when
When-
somebody
when-
walks and rides
when
past
wind
it?
blows, it'll go off.
Is there a solar attachment?
Yeah, maybe we should look for that. Maybe we invest in something that's a little bit better. And I definitely should be running off of solar, guys.
This is a cheap way out, pretty much.
Well, so, but then you get what you pay for, which means it's dead when something happens, something like that. But I think that if we could think about it, not now, it doesn't have to be right now, but we need to step up, like solar power is it, and you don't gotta worry about the battery.
Did you see, the system that Joe DC built for Braeburn? It's all on solar and has like 5 or 6 cameras on it. It catches the whole block. You got one 16, right by it, 16. And a 200 watt, that's a big battery in there. and everything.
Well, I seen something like that on 13th.
You
It was
know,
on the property there.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay, yes. And I was saying, nobody went in there and took the copper, or did anything? Okay, got it.
So that's something rather process.
Yeah, but if that thing that they have set up there might not be good for back there with all of the deer,
But it's on solar, so it's not,
but it wouldn't be a stand thing, just standing right there, you'd have to put it somewhere else.
can't still, you don't see the solar.
Well, no, now what I'm saying is that individual thing he had almost looked like the thing that was down in the Target parking lot. Right, so that couldn't stay back there the whole time, I'm sure that would get damaged. Where would you set that up at? Back there? That's what I was thinking of, something you could attach to the pole and definitely have the solar panel, but we can discuss that. We can
I
discuss
think he
that.
just did it that way, so Tom can move it to different locations in the park.
Whatever is under construction.
Right.
Right, that's what he does.
So I'm sure he can probably get some.
That we would attach to the
Okay,
pole.
it's a council, it's not just behind your house.
No, what I'm saying is, excuse me for one
I
moment,
mean,
that's okay.
excuse me, I'm saying, you wanna go like this.
Actually, so what I'm saying is, we could get something that could tie to that tree, so this isn't just about my house, what happens back there, the reason why we have the cameras that people dump. And so it's a no dumping zone, and that's why you have the camera, and it just happens to be, before I moved, there was a street, and people were using that to dump, and so they're still.
They dump next door to my house in Phoenix, and they set my house on fire because they got
Listen,
nothing. My house has done nothing about my house. They have done nothing
Thank
about
you,
my
so,
house.
let me know about what we get to have to.
You know, on the whole borough.
And we have more than just that one.
I'm
We
going to hide.
have grant applications and conversations with the district attorney's office about installing more cameras. So
Cause that's, there's money in there.
it's ongoing discussions.
Thank you, Lord.
Okay.
Thank you, Gary.
Uh,
Thank you, Tim.
Any other things that, for discussion?
That was it for me.
Okay.
Floyd, you can't.
Overall discussion, William?
Yes.
Okay, just, yeah, let me just do this real quick.
No.
6-9 we discussed and okay, sergeant's exam. That was ordered by Amanda, I believe, from the study guides. Before the end of the year, we should do a exit audit on the tax collector. Amanda thought that this particular tax exoneration application should have come through the borough office. If they had done, we would have saved $1,110.86. Contacted Mopac and was in contact with Amanda about trying to get general tax certified through Mopac. So we could do the Act 57 certification of police officers when we hire them. And the last item is VFW, our department has a bill in there, $1,325 for a month now. And Amanda pointed that out to me, and that says it's like animal hospital. We just want to know how much a regular month tax is. One about what, you know, that area.
Well, what was the month I purchased for?
We purchased, I guess, one of the fire trucks, they put animal hospital.
Yeah, back in the engine.
Well, who approved that though, when you're talking about logos on the back of the fire, and then when it say Homestead, but now it says Animal House? Who allowed them to do that? Cause that doesn't represent Homestead.
How they represent their fire department and their separate corporation.
So they're the Homestead Fire Department, AKA Animal House.
They can call themselves what they want, yes.
I want nothing to do with that one.
Okay. Okay. Move on to other issues. Motion to approve June 9th and June 12th meeting minutes. Motion with second. Second, any comments, questions, or motion? Come on.
Okay, thank you.
No questions. All in favor?
Yes,
Any
yes,
opposed?
yes, yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Motion to approve 2025 payroll in the amount of
I love my thing.
Okay, sorry, I just want to make sure. Sorry.
motion to approve July 2025 payroll in the amount of $120,633.23. July 4th and July 8th payrolls.
So moved.
I'm
Motion.
sorry, that should say 18th, I apologize, I had a typo there, because a few days before.
Sorry. Okay, motion
So moved.
by Harry. Henry. Second.
Second.
Okay, any questions or motion?
Nobody?
Okay, roll call please.
President Cunningham,
Yes.
Vice President Nesby,
Yes.
Ms. Baker,
Yes.
Minister Burwell,
Yes.
Mrs. Burwell is absent, Mr. Schulte,
Yes.
Mr. White.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion to approve July 2025 bill list in the amount of $162,915.18.
So moved.
Second.
Yes. Moved and second, any questions to your motion? Roll call, please.
President Cunningham,
Yes.
Vice President Nesby, Ms. Baker, Minister Burwell,
Yes.
Mrs. Lovell absent, Mr. Schulte, Mr. White.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion to approve a certificate of appropriateness is recommended by the Homestead for a wall sign and ATM machine on property located in 45 East Fifth Avenue. This is the Jack's Varieties for building.
I thought that was a table because of the ATM and the timing of it.
What about ATM?
That's what we thought.
We don't have any other ATMs.
But we do have one in, Valero's.
He has one inside, he has one down here, and then you have.
So do you want people to come and,
We used to have 3 on the outsides. Yeah, we have one at PNC Bank, one at Citizens Bank.
Yeah, well, they're not, so you still,
On the outside.
so Valero's and his is in, this bank on his end, you got the, you got Triborough, but then you got PNC Bank in the waterfront and Triborough, and I feel like the competition, I heard him say something about, competing with your own self, because you have them inside here. And I think we were looking at it, safety purposes, and what it can attract, especially being where it's at. So I definitely didn't have an issue with your signage, I do have an issue with the 18, but we were tabling this, I'm not sure how.
Well, number one, we're not voting on appropriateness of the legislation, we're voting on the appropriateness of it, the look of it being there.
Okay, well, either way, we were discussing it, and so if you put two things in one motion.
I mean, it's because that's what their application was for the look of the building. It's architectural review board, it's only looking at what it looks like, it's 5-hour ordinance.
So all we wanted to do was discuss it a little bit further, because if we table it, then if we say no down, then he doesn't get that opportunity. Right, so I wanna give him that opportunity, but I also wanna give us the ability to discuss it.
So it's open for a motion right now. Motion to table.
Second.
Moved and second to table. Any questions? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion to advertise an ordinance in the Borough of Homestead, amending municipal code, amending chapter 15, motor vehicles, traffic, on vehicles, traffic regulations, article B, regulations 115, paragraph 17, closing of certain highways to certain vehicles to add certain highways.
So moved.
So,
What
second.
does that say?
What all that says is that we're going to make it not legal to drive tractor trailer trucks on the bottom of
So remember
Main
last week,
Street, Amity Street, and McClure Street, and Sixth Avenue, to keep those trucks from,
it's
their
the,
GPS is telling them to go that way to get in the waterfront, and I know there was another one today.
Excuse me.
And, they get down there and they get stuck, and it costs them thousands of dollars to get themselves towed out of there, plus $1,000 fine from the borough. So, we're just,
Okay.
yeah. But they're all excuses, GPS says to go here. Right. And we have all these signs that say, stop, don't do that, and they do it anyway. Okay, so we have a motion,
so moved, I think Henry so moved it, and I seconded it.
okay, roll call please.
1 second. All right, President Cunningham,
Yes.
Vice President Nesby,
Yes.
Ms. Baker,
Yes.
Minister Burwell.
Yes.
Mrs. Burwell is absent, Mr. Schulte,
Yes.
Mr. White.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, this is to advertise, the next month we'll vote on to put it as an ordinance. Motion to advertise
I said
ordinance.
ordinance twice.
Yeah, I did. Motion to advertise an ordinance in the Borough of Homestead for amending chapter 18 sewers and sewage disposal, part 7, sewer lateral repairs, section 18704, 18706, so that we will require video inspections of sewer laterals at times of property sales.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. White, second. Second?
Second.
Question,
Yes.
this particular, inspection of the laterals, does that expense fall on the buyer or the seller?
That's in the real estate deal, whoever they agree.
Either one based on the agreement.
Yeah, generally, it's, the language is gonna be, I'm gonna hold everybody accountable for this, but the way it actually happens in practice is the seller typically does. Unless your buyer's conscious, because I'll tell you, I'll never buy a house without doing it myself, even though it's not a business. I don't buy a house for the things.
So the buyer may say, I'll pay for it.
It's entirely possible. They're generally a couple $100 to do, which is why it's not too bad of an ordinance to pass, because what it does is it saves unsuspecting homeowners from buying a house with a huge issue in it, and it happens way more often than you think.
So should that be on the seller? Because I would hate to buy a house and had all of these issues, where when you're gonna sell your home, you should make sure that all of these things are done. Because people are gonna get caught.
So Dan,
We've had 5 of these incidents
Yes.
within the past year. And many municipalities have this requirement. And it's about time for us to go and have this, because next thing you know, the buyer of the house is down screaming at us.
That's what I mean, so should the ordinance say that this would fall on the seller, so that the buyer isn't stuck with $20,000 worth of work?
The problem with that is, you can't always get the seller once they're gone. Once they sell that property, sometimes they're not around, they're gone. Tracking them down, holding them accountable for that is not easy.
So this will put it into the real estate transaction. So if you're gonna buy it, you make them pay for it before you buy it. And if they don't do it, you don't buy it.
The actual impetus behind this is to stop the infiltration into your system. And there's a large portion of the infiltration coming into your system through the laterals. And you can't really inspect the lateral unless you go out there and say, hey, we need to inspect your lateral. But this is a point in time where it's a natural break in the sale of the property where it can be taken care of as a part of that closing property. Let's say you come back and it's a $15,000 fix.
And we just
That's
had one
what's
up
gonna
at 340 East 12th before it was sold, where the buyer absolutely requested to be in, and it was broke, the whole sewer line was gone. So they just put in a brand new sewer line, and it cost the seller of the house, which is in the state, over $8,000 to go put that new sewer line in, because of the sewer line. It was all terracotta, that was all broken up.
So with these cameras we about to get on, and then we charge a fee to?
Well, the whole thing is, we are gonna be charging a fee for this, and with a TV camera, we can actually, whoever decides to go and do that, we could actually do it ourselves and make more money and have that income come directly to us. So it can be a revenue stream to us with that. Right now, master plumbers are going out and doing this TV service, and they're getting paid. And then we have a small fee to go and put it in, into our system for the closing time.
And I'll tell you, the other aspect of this is, you should be reviewing those footages, not just whoever the master plumber is. There might be a master plumber who's good friends with the homeowner, and yeah, that's why it's having an ASCO person certified on your staff to make that call, because if not, you've gotta give it to somebody at Brad's firm, and they're gonna charge a premium for that, because I know they do it with their authority clients, but I've worked with them on no dye testing.
They make the money go to this $2,400 a month that we wanna pay, at least the thing.
Trying to look at the situation.
And like I said, and it can pay off.
Yes.
It can pay it off, so it's another option. I used to be NASCO certified when I was in Ross Township, and it expired, because I used to go and view those videos and everything else, but I'm not interested in doing it again.
Is our emergency management, are you NASCO?
Yeah, it's 2 months up, but yeah,
Gotcha.
That would be such a far down the line accreditation for that.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you and second.
Henry made the motion, Connie
All in
seconded.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And that again is to advertise. Motion to approve resolution of Borough Homestead and to authorize the engineer to apply for all removal and paving.
So moved.
Second. Any questions to the order, to the motion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? next motion, these guys don't have the paperwork. This is
Because I was making a motion to table it later.
It's off. It's not fair. Any other council persons have anything else to
Yeah, I'd
discuss?
like to make a motion that we amend the agenda and that we allow Officer Fritz to do fundraising to visit community.
Officer Rich can fundraise.
Well, allow the other people, the fire department to fundraise so that he can go do that.
I think, I want to second or first it because what we asked, the officer, Dr. Chief of that, was to get us some information, comparing 1 to a 7-2 and then 1 to a 7-1. So before we said yes, I'd like to see if we even need to have 2 canines.
Okay. No second to your motion, so, any other, things discussion or anything else from any council persons?
Yes.
Just one other thing, when I was reviewing the bill. Still, it was gigantic. Very unusual. June 4th, it was public service. We discussed this with Christie and, Lee Arizona gave us the answer. They were billing us for 4 events, which totaled, 47,76,64 on 6/4. Did you ever get to the, conclusion on that, Eric?
Yeah, but the top one didn't look right.
No, I know, so we pulled that bill, Chrissy's gonna look into it.
Right.
And I guess with your advice on that. That was almost saving $5,000. I think that's about it. In reference to the bills.
Was the bill pulled?
Yeah, we pulled.
Last week, at the end of our council meeting, Councilwoman Connie Burrell had addressed council, and it was to complain about the fact that I, under the assumption that everybody knew about the mobile caravan being on site. And during that time, there was a parking enforcement officer who had talked to the van. And again, I thought that because I had it approved by talking to Lloyd and Amanda, that it was okay for them to park at that particular area. So when she told them to move, and they told me, she said to move, and then they did that, when they said, we're told you to be here. And she said, get the hell off the property.
Well, wait a minute, you didn't say that last week, did she?
She did that.
Well, she's not here to defend herself, so I'd ask you to know.
I'm telling you what was told to me.
Well, I'd like you
Henry, I'm okay
Yeah, you
for you to
should
address
do that.
stuff what Connie was talking about, let's not get into what.
Okay,
she
but,
did or
okay,
did not
but,
do.
yeah, I'm gonna do that, but I'm telling you, that's
We
what
don't
I'm
talk about somebody
So
who's not.
I did talk to Aretha, and I told her that,
Can we just
Okay.
focus on
all
addressing
right,
what
well,
Connie?
anyway, the situation was that she brought it upon there, instead of having, like you're telling me, she should be here, she didn't have her either. And she told me that I lied about the situation, that no one was notified that they were there, and you always were. And the problem that a lot of people here have on this council is, we fail to read our emails, text messaging, and remember what it said at council meetings. If
You
we
didn't
all,
send us an email.
if we all, it was email, it was email.
I didn't get an email, Henry, you didn't say you emailed us last
You
week.
talked to your council president, because he said he emailed us.
No,
And I got.
you didn't give us an email.
Okay, I'm just saying, I don't have an email.
And last week you didn't say
Well,
email, you
Lloyd,
said
did you email her or not, Lloyd?
It went,
And it was also discussed.
to Facebook and the webpage.
And it was also discussed at April's meeting. I was told that we didn't have to vote on that, so again, that's something we decided.
Wait a minute.
We had discussion and the consensus was we would allow them to come and be in the parking lot on that day because the school was closed.
But he
That
told
happened.
Amanda that he couldn't park in the parking lot because the vehicle was too big, for traffic, for officers, that he was too big to be in the parking lot. Is that correct, Amanda? Because I don't want to say something that wasn't said.
So I believe that the UPMC truck was always going in our parking lot, was not to be on the street. And there was, I didn't know until the situation happened on July 3rd that the driver of the truck had concerns about making the turn and getting out of the parking lot. So that was a situation.
Even if he went straight back?
As you figure you go straight back, and I know that turn is pretty, sudden for, longer vehicle.
Anyway, it changed from the parking lot to the street. Right there, that was as the man pulled the van.
Yeah.
And probably that wasn't the best place for him.
No, and I feel like it was a breakdown in communication to the, parking enforcement, who was gonna have to come out and see that, and so, I hear you say emails, we discussed it, I hear you say flyers. I just think that internally, right, because all what you said with the flyer was for the community, which a whole lot of the community didn't know, but I'm talking internally, that not Lloyd, not Henry, not Amanda discussed, that incident. Okay, we thought he was coming into the parking lot, but the moment that gentleman said, I cannot park there because I can't get in and out, then the next person in line to be notified is the parking. Because they're coming out to say, wait a minute, sir, you can't sit there, because they had no clue. And we're talking about two community members who didn't even know that this was happening. So when you say like it went out to the community, I feel like, once again, we need to be making our community aware, prior, because nobody really knew about that. That's why I said, I don't know who you sent the flyer to, but the breakdown is that no one in a higher level position said anything to parking. That it was supposed to go here, but because of this, it couldn't. So today, guys, we're gonna allow him to sit here to service our community. Nothing, I mean, like, this small little thing, and Henry, when you're saying, like, I went through Lloyd, if this was your baby, right, and this is something you wanted to do for the community, everybody should have been notified.
I did, and like I said.
Even outside of
You
us.
said that I lied, but I did.
No,
I don't know
you
what
say-
you meant.
I say
I'm not saying, I'm talking about the county saying that, but I did. There was flyers that were put, because Amanda printed the flyers up for me.
I never see
And
them.
I passed out
either.
those flyers to everybody there.
No,
on
no,
council.
no,
I did,
no.
I very much
Why
did.
do I have to lie about?
Well, I don't lie.
Can I say something?
Can I just say one thing?
It happens.
My reason for even bringing this issue up is because
Be quiet.
most, I mean, not most times, when things are coming into Homestead, each one of council should know when, where, and what time. Because if that would have happened, that would have never happened up here. If our borough manager and you, Lloyd, since they said that you okayed it,
We all
I didn't okay
did.
anything.
In the April meeting,
I didn't okay anything. I didn't okay anything. Do you have it in a minute, please?
I believe so.
So I don't have the
No,
minutes
you
with
don't,
me.
'cause I didn't
but
say
have-
it.
Can I say
have an email that
something?
went out.
Yeah, like 1 minute, honey.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that every council member ought to know. It may be a good thing,
It was a good thing, we need to
but
flood our
if
wards.
every council member does not know when, where, and how, and then how you address staff members, because what should have happened was Henry should have never taken control of that. He should have went in to Amanda.
And I did, and I told you that
Wait,
last
wait,
week too.
wait, can I finish, Henry? I let you talk. I let you talk.
I'm telling you,
I
that I
never
did,
told
I did, last weekend, and you go
You're
back
not
and remember what
telling
you
me
said,
anything.
and that's a problem.
Are you kidding?
Because I did
Are
say
you
that last week,
kidding?
and I said, and I called up Amanda, I
I'm
said,
done.
I called
I'm done.
Amanda,
I'm done.
because Amanda was not here, she was out, and so I called.
and I addressed it because Amanda was not.
But it wasn't your, so.
I don't care what you say, I don't care what you say, because I said
But you
it was
gotta
there,
hear.
and that was my part of that out there, and I was gonna let nobody ruin that.
But you have to
I
hear.
did was good for the community,
But
and
hell,
you went
nobody
away,
even
and there were
knew,
people
Henry.
out there waiting
Nobody
for
had
it.
5 people. 5 people.
So, again, yeah, it may have been wrong, and I apologize for my part in that, but I still say, I did what I did at the time, because Amanda was not here. And all I said to her
But you're the
was,
lead.
and all I said to her was, that she should go to Amanda or Lloyd, because they would know.
But they weren't here, right?
She still
Amanda
should,
wasn't
but
here,
instead of
right?
telling that man to leave, she should have waited until she got
She told
confirmation
them
from her
that-
direct supervisor.
She told them that they could not sit there because they were obstructing traffic.
And she
And they
writes
were.
tickets to trucks that weren't there to make
That's
deliveries.
breakdown. This is a breakdown with her not knowing.
She's not gonna say this to the ice
That was
cream lady.
okay.
She does.
Henry, you don't know that, don't do that, don't do that. So I don't want you to do that, you know, say some stuff you really don't know, or,
Yeah.
you know, I'm like, don't read it.
That is, that's a problem, because they consistently do it.
If somebody needs to discuss the behavior or problem of an employee, you need to first bring it to Amanda, and let Amanda address it back to the employee. That's a chain of command, that's very,
And then it's Lloyd, and then it's myself,
yes, but.
right? There are 3 people,
Yes,
so that's all, and I just.
anyway, that incident's over, and let's move on. Any other discussion or questions from council members? Okay, any public have any comments on, yes?
I'd like to personally, Russell Reed,
Thank you.
I'd like to personally thank the, Homestead Police Department, Council, and the mayor for your quick reaction last Saturday, shutting down that pop-up party, because all kind of crap could have broke out. I appreciate what y'all did. Secondly, there was an incident Saturday evening, late afternoon, early evening, on Amity Street, with a bunch of unruly teenagers. And I want to thank that man right there. My granddaughter was one of the unruly teenagers. And I love the way he handled her. He handled her with kid club care. We got a good officer. I just wanted to thank him for that. And lastly, I don't know how often you have people patrol Homestead Brick Park at night. There's times my wife and I are riding down the street, we see young kids in there. We wouldn't want anything to happen to them. I just wanted to pass it on.
And when that does happen, I think that,
Thank you.
I don't know if there's a, you're welcome, if Mr. Fritz or can give you a card, because I hate to put that call into 911, but our park does close at a certain time of night, and so we do need to be aware of anybody in the park that should not be. And with the uptick in violence, it's just.
There's a lot of kids in the corner, on the corner of Brick Park at night that you have 20 kids that run.
And it's really hard to close that park because of course it's really good. I want you guys to take this into consideration. We do not have anything to offer our young adults,
I
right?
understand that.
So if they gather in the park to meet and they are not being disruptive, right? They're not being disrespectful, they're not breaking glass, I mean, because listen, kids wanna do what they do, I was a kid once. I just feel like we don't have an outlet. And so if them feeling like the Frick Park is a safe space, I feel like we should allow them to do that to a certain time, you know what I mean? I feel like, yes. What is it, 10? I think it's 10. So anything after 10, I don't know, Henry, I know we talked about it, if it was 11, 10 or
It was
11.
10 o'clock first.
Well, no, because we closed McCain, 16th at 9.
I believe it's
We gave them an
Thursday night,
extra
so
hour.
All the
It's a
playgrounds.
courtesy.
It's not in the park, so
It
the
gets
part
dark.
of the problem is they're in the street. And
Okay.
the cars are having to go around them and stop, or they sit there.
Well,
And,
maybe at those instances, you notify 911.
yeah,
I'm just thinking of the fact that it is a park, it's beauty, it's almost a safe space, because I hate to punish, because that's just what happened with the Papa. We had to shut the whole thing down for the sake of city kids coming in, but you get 10 bad apples, it'll ruin it for 70 kids, so.
What can we do to give these kids an offer? They do need some.
Well,
I've been saying that for years.
and before I answer that, yes, ma'am, please, because your hand has been up for a very long time.
Oh my goodness. Okay, my name is Medina White. I live on 16th. I want to say a couple things. One, as far as like the outlet goes, I know when we were shutting down the park, a couple of people were bouncing around, maybe at like a party. They want to throw a party, throw them a party, and they just have like a certain theme, but then have it supervised so that it's not a twerking party with weed.
That's what I mentioned, the Kermon Valley, I don't know if they ever got
They were
back
there.
to you.
Yeah.
That's what the new Homestead Council or them, Kermon Valley.
Well, so we wouldn't intertwine, I mean, they're gonna come in and do their part, but if they decide to have a party group, we definitely will cure. And I feel like if we decide, my concern is this, we can have a party for them, right? It just wouldn't be in the park for reasons that it's hard to control the in and out. And I gotta think about even when I was young. So we say, you know what, tomorrow, we're gonna throw the kids apart, we're gonna have community members be there, we're gonna have people tables. We also have to be leery of the people that would come to the park to hide a gun the night before, had drugs the night before, had alcohol the night before. And so I definitely want to throw a party, and I'm gonna tell you who I'm talking to right now, and that's Mr. DC, who has this extra space, he's actually renting that bottom. And until that bottom was rented out, I'm meeting with him to allow us to do that. My issue would be, it would be Homestead, right? And so it would be the youth and young adults for the borough of Homestead, Munhall, West Homestead. I do not wanna throw an open party where I got kids from Swissvale, right? I did it, and it can be done. It definitely can be done, because I had Jimmy Walker here at St. Max, and I didn't have a problem. So it can be done, but there was an incentive for them to behave, and that was they wanted that free concert. And so we could do that indoors, we don't have a problem with that. But these type of things have to be structured. We're talking about 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids wanting to smoke weed and drink. We can't allow that, right? And I don't want nobody's blood on my hands when we had a massacre. People were not happy that we shut the park down. It didn't matter to me. We're gonna stand on what we stood on, because if we had to let it go down and somebody's child got hurt or killed, then it's a problem that we let it go down. So listen, we're never going to appease everybody. We gotta do what's safe for the
Looking out for the
community.
safety of.
Yes, yes. And we can definitely do what you said. And listen, everybody who had a problem and said they would stand up, I need you to be present when we put this party together, because we hear this and nobody never shows up, right? I literally manned a party myself with my family and Homestead police officers. So it can be done. We gotta come together for these kids, because we don't have an outlet. We don't have a lot of space, but there's places that we can use to give them that. But it has to be supervised. It cannot be pop-up.
And also, I wanted to say that, far as like you were talking about getting the word out and everything like that, I noticed you guys have your meetings around the same time people are getting home. So I was actually going to talk to Amanda about maybe doing a video of the meetings. And I was actually doing one myself, because my husband just said like, oh, you can do it as a citizen. I was like, oh, okay. So I started doing it as a citizen. But as you can see, my little thing is kind of small. Yeah, it's so small you can't even see it. So, but I was saying that, and then maybe we can put that on the website or on Facebook or something like that. And then that way, on their way home, they can just listen to the meeting.
Or if you're sick and you can't get here,
Yeah.
you're still a part of it.
Or the shut-ins or
You might
something
still
like
put
that.
something in the chat. And we are in 2000s, so we could really.
I noticed that like Munhall does it, and some other surrounding boroughs do it, and then they also have like a transcript of the minutes as well. And I was actually going to talk to your borough manager about having a piece of technology. I think it's under $200, but it's a transcript. So what it does is records the meeting. It has AI embedded in it, and so it can actually label certain people, but not the audience. So it can label you guys. So it can be like, Lloyd said da da da, and then she said da da da. You know what I mean? And so then she can go and put that in a workflow, and so that it can automatically be uploaded to the website.
Thank you.
And one last thing, real quick. Even though you guys are harping on and everything like that, I think it was beautiful you guys had the truck out there, and I thank you a lot. And there was actually a couple of people that thanked this too, because it really helped them out, because they were trying to get those school physicals in, and free. It was free. The doctors are very comprehensive and very professional with that van. So
No, it was a wonderful thing, and I think that, I mean, and Lloyd and Henry, I think that was awesome. I just think that we gotta keep it. That's all. Cause we need all of these things for our community. We definitely do.
I think they don't know half the things going on.
On the video camera meetings, we do it on, we bought a small little video camera. We put it in the corner, we start every meeting, we start, record the whole meeting, and then we take it back to the office, and edit it, get it in the end, because usually we'll start right on this one time.
Okay.
We just
So
upload
you say
it.
you edit it?
We just cut the front, you cut the front and the end of it off, and we just upload it to, YouTube. So, I mean, that's something that you guys.
See, I said YouTube.
Yeah, so we upload it to
So you
YouTube.
don't stream it live, you upload it.
No, we upload, usually like a day or two after.
What about real time?
We can
And-
do it real time.
Also, oh, I was just gonna add that if you need one to edit, I also have editing software.
Good evening, Council. Thank you for having me as well. I appreciate you guys being here. I can't agree for one question, when I come in and someone here, I always say something. My question is, who is responsible for cutting that small piece of grass in front of your property? That one piece of grass, who actually legally is responsible for cutting it?
Property.
You can't even kill. That was my question. I was thinking about this mobile, thing that they talked about last month. Use that to cut that small little patch. These properties over here. Oh, this nigga, where's this office? Yes, ma'am. I really have no greenery on my property, but because that grass grows in front and there's a abandoned structure next door to me, we already know about the abandoned structure. It grows to my home. So I'm out here with a green thumb catching for you. And I be putting, oh, when it's a I can't. With a fire, I had to think about 8 years prior to it catching the fire. And it's still abandoned and it's still doing nothing about it. And every year I get out here, it's still shots every single year. The damage that was done to my house because of this abandoned structure, I keep getting pulled in front of the magistrate saying that my property is not in code because this property destroyed my home. Now, the issue is still standing, and this was supposed to be doing all this beautiful work to my home that I take care of, when the problem is still existing. I'm still running babies off of the property, there's still raccoons I'm running over there, and nothing is being done about 113 Eastland Avenue. And that is just along my side, and it's been here for a long time, still to this day, nothing has been done. So those are my one question, is who's responsible for the cat? Because I was just trying to get some help, because I'm over here, one woman show, trying to point off of my children and my family, this is really a girl problem. You know, so that's my one question. You cut the grass, if I'm responsible for cutting one patch in front of my house, I will continue to do that with no problem. To be honest with you guys, I have no greenery on my home but one shrub. Why am I cutting down yards and stuff that people are just not doing anything? I want to live on the property. You guys can help me, but at the same time, now I have to take this man, well, now I'm dealing with the solicitor, I'm suing, I'm taking right back downtown, and I'm gonna tell the judge, nothing has changed. They have not stepped up and done their part as far as dealing with this abandoned property who has just damaged my home, over $150,000 worth of damage was done to my house in that fire. Almost killed my whole family in that fire. No, I'm not happy about what's going on over here in my neck of the woods, because the people who are in charge keep saying there's nothing we can do about it. But yet it's still my responsibility, and you guys pull the question to everybody, taking me and my family, who are taking care of our property. You're taking us to task, taking food from my family over a building that you guys are 100% responsible for. This has been, I've been coming here for 5 years telling you about it.
Okay.
So can we find something to do about that?
Do we know the property owner for 113?
They're just in court.
Jerry Thompson, they do it for me.
They're taking them to court all the time.
So can we have the building knocked down, because it's full of raccoons, it's full of poison ivy and poison oak, it's a danger to the community, I'm cutting down hedges, I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on that property. I've been doing it for 8 years, and another 5 years since the property, and I'm still doing it every single day. I have over $500 worth of mulch that I paid for, that's sitting over there right now.
We appreciate that.
So I'm just appreciating, I wanna know how are the homeowners in Homestead being protected? Because we are big, we all due respect, and I don't mean disrespect, but this is hitting my pocket and my family's pocket. Because everything that you guys approve on this council always trickle back down to our wallets. And this man comes every single week or month and gives good grants that can be paid for, that does not have to take money from the taxpayers to get some of these programs that we're paying for. There are grants that we can get for these things instead of putting that cost back on us. No protection is being done for us. Even this water line thing. Why is it that the homeowners have to be have to stop our water from going into the drain? And now as homeowners, we have to eat every single cost of that deal that was done. We need to have some programs written to now reimburse the homeowners for a lot of these decisions that you guys are making and making us pay for. That's what we need.
Thank you.
And we need to know what's going on in our borough.
We're telling you that we take that property owner from 113 to court rather often, and the magistrate finds him or whatever, and.
That is no avail of me. I'm asking the borough to knock that property down.
Well, it's a.
Tim, is it, do you know if it's tax delinquent?
I'm not sure. I'm on the computer.
Right, so condemn it.
It's vacant.
So what's the they don't have no insurance on it to fix it up when the fire happens?
I got no idea. You know, why not? I don't know why there isn't a lawsuit between the two individual private homeowners for that issue.
Because it's a borough issue.
It's not a borough issue.
Yes, it was, because I don't.
Yeah, Lord, we have
We're not
executive
getting into
session.
it right now.
And we have an executive session. that we have to go to.
That is the borough's responsibility, the whole, you hold me responsible for the damage to my home, why are you not holding him responsible for abandoning that home
We
and
do,
leaving it?
and hold him responsible as much as we take him to court.
I told you,
Yeah,
it
we
was
got
in
to
the report,
executive
told me
session,
every
please,
report.
because I got, we can't.
Okay, I apologize, I don't know better.
No, what was the answer?
Okay.
What was the answer?
The answer is we take him to the magistrate, and it's up to the magistrate to adjudicate what happens. It's
And
Second Amendment rights. He
I'm
owns
going
the
to be
property.
protected in the meanwhile.
We can't step on his property any more than we can step on your property.
Okay, so how am I being protected?
Well, we're definitely not having a solution tonight. Hold on one
You
second.
could file in court against him if you chose.
Yeah, she could take him to court.
You could take him to court for whatever
Help
remedy
us.
you think that you deserve.
That might help.
And that might help you out.
And how, I will do that with you, but how do we condemn it and knock this thing down?
A lot of houses need to be.
I know, and I waited my time.
Seriously,
There's
like,
a
yeah,
significant,
that was her time.
there's a significant number of places here that could be on a demolition. What happens is, how they rise to the top is the structural integrity of that building. And the problem is, that building is not
Right,
structurally
it is.
efficient.
No, it is, the foundation is completely falling out, it's leaning to the side, there is no roof, it is structurally, I lived there, I'm telling you, I know what I know. I fixed it this way, just
So
to
I'm
fall
not
on me.
negating this, you know what I'm negating.
I'm
We
taking
got
pictures of it,
executive
I'll bring it to
session.
you guys next month.
And then you get, no, we don't believe you, but we just told you your remedy is to take them to court.
Excuse me for not standing up, but my pensioner is bothering me right now. But just to give you an update on the 2024 delinquent borough and school taxes. Using the best checks and balances that I could based on the information that we have available in the 2024 duplicate tax books for both the borough as well as Steel Valley School District. There were 488 properties in delinquency for a total of $146,386.14 for the borough that has been turned over to Keystone and delivered last Friday by Dan for us. And for Steel Valley School District, $315,496.02 delivered to legal tax service directly by Amanda for us last Friday. The good news is already talked with Jenny at legal tax service today, and she has been approached by 2 separate mortgage companies already who, via wanting to close on properties, need to pay those back taxes, have already paid monies. just since last Friday. So hopefully, the same thing will be happening with our $146,386 that's owed to the borough. Finally got those delinquent lists out where monies can now start coming in on those.
Thank you for your efforts to generate.
Appreciate that.
Like I said, Amanda personally delivered the ones to legal, and Dan rode all the way out to Irwin for me to take Keystone theirs. Amanda was very helpful too in final capitulation on the list as well.
We have Excel 101.
Okay, any other public comments?
Yeah.
They need to be short.
You already had your turn 3 times.
Yes. Go. Not on the agenda items.
No, I was going to question, how's the park look? How's the park look?
That's the wrong way.
So in regards to last week, I think that there's a huge, big, bunch of like major areas for. So I think the main area was that Connie, I was telling my dad how he can't do
It's
it.
personnel, you know, it's personal. You can talk to Connie if you want to talk to Connie.
Well, I mean, this is a public, I mean, this is a public issue we did this last week, so, yeah, I mean, this last week.
What is this about the stormwater?
No, it's not stormwater, it's about the incident with that.
Stormwater?
No.
So,
So, the thing about the bus is that Connie told my dad that he had no right of approaching our parking enforcement. I'm not gonna say things because, you know, I don't disrespect. But what is it, however, though, I mean, but you can say not a boss, but technically on the hierarchy, was it, yeah, it may be, was it technically, was it, our parking, was it council is responsible for parking enforcement, responsible for public works, and responsible for the police department. And so they're basically have the final say, kind of like the regular council, the CEOs. Amanda would be the manager who's put in charge, directly overseeing. And so while she's responsible for overseeing, if she don't do nothing stupid, we have the final say as to what's to be done. And so while, you know, Connie's got that, but technically, you know, all of you have to stay on council to go tell our employees to do this and do that and do that. Because as Dawn said years ago, we run this like a business. So therefore, in business, the CEO has the final say about what needs to be done. And after that.
what is CEO?
No, I'm not saying your CEO, but I'm saying that we're requesting, and wasn't, and actually after that, was a man went to Holly and Connie went with her and told her how Amanda needs to tell Gary to get on employees, how to get on employees for public works and everything, and how, and Connie actually did, her Amanda, and I heard from the first 2 good years, how Harry said how it takes to get on the employees.
Well, that's where.
Now you're doing this, she said, don't, remember I told you don't be.
Yes, but at the same time, though, I mean, the item and the personnel.
Yeah, you're saying stuff, and then that's almost hearsay because it's something you heard, right? And I wouldn't get into a habit of repeating stuff because that, it's just messy.
Yeah, but
You see what I'm saying?
isn't that a little bit hypocritical though?
No, so actually, we're done with that part.
So, no, and let's, you know, because the way that the borough is set up, I am in charge of the day-to-day operation of the borough. Right, so I'm the day-to-day operation, so managing all of the other employees except for myself. Council is my boss. Council is my boss, like directly in chain of command. Lloyd is number 1. Lloyd is my head boss, but all of council is my boss. All of council is able to give me feedback about things that they see happening in the borough, in the different departments. And at that point, I get their feedback, not the other staff members directly, but I get feedback about my managing them and take it back and act on it.
And Connie's on that GW board.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm saying that you can't sit here and tell one council person they can't go to a store and say something.
Go to a man.
I
just go in there.
There's a difference
No,
between
no,
going to
you
your
go in
head
there.
administrative.
No.
I think what he's trying to say is that in the situation that Henry was in when Amanda wasn't there and the truck was there, and we had a contract with the truck saying it'd be like a whole bunch of money if they had to leave. And so Henry said to her to do what did he do wrong? That's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that in lieu of Amanda not being there, that's what he was asking.
We're going into executive.
No,